Hello guys, welcome back to Coding Cafe. My name is Mohammed Ali, and in the previous tutorial, as you know that we have successfully implemented the live search feature and also using the Firebase real-time database, and also we allow a user to follow other users, okay, like follow user, unfollow back, okay, so follow, unfollow. But now, in this tutorial, what we are going to do is to work on our profile fragment. That is, when a user click on any profile, that is, let's say I search for any user, okay, and when I click here, then the app must redirect me to this user profile page, and also to display the total number of followers and the following list here, okay, and also the full name and bio. We will be working on all these stuffs. So yeah, let's just do it. So let's go to the Android Studio. So first of all, here in our user adapter, what we are going to do is, here we can say when a user click on this whole item, which is our, when a user search, this is a whole item, okay. So if a user click anywhere on any profile, okay, so let's say if a user click on this profile, there will be a lot of user, as you know, but just for testing purposes we have till now created I guess 6 users, okay. So all the users whose names start from J appear here, okay. So I hope you understand all these steps. So anyways, holder dot item view, which means if the user click on any profile, then we are going to set a click listener on it. Set on click listener view dot on click listener, this first one, okay. And then by using the share preference, let's first create a, let's give it name as ref equals, by using the context dot get shared preferences refs, and the second parameter it's need is basically the context dot private dot mode private, comma, sorry, not comma, dot edit. And which thing we want to share is basically the profile, that is the, let's say if I click on this profile, then we must get this ID. So by using this ID we can display the information here is at at the profile page. So we can say ref dot put string, so we can give it name as profile ID user dot get uid ref dot apply, and then put these two braces. We can say context as fragment activity dot support fragment manage dot begin transaction dot replace or dot id dot fragment container, comma, and where we want to send the user is basically the profile fragment dot commit. So we will send the user to the profile. Let's go to the profile fragment quickly. Profile fragment dot catty, and here let's also open the XML file for it. Profile fragment, because we will be needing it, so it is important. So first of all, there are two things now to discuss. One is basically if a user is online, let's say login into the app and he click on this profile page, then the user will see this edit profile button, because this is the user profile page now, okay. And he will see his following list, follower list, and his own name basically, sorry, the edit profile button, his own followers and following list, his name, the user online, the user who is online, okay, he will be seeing his own data here. But what if a user click here, I mean on the search, and he search someone profile and he click on, let's say, this Gia Peterson, then when he click on any item, that is, let's say this is the whole item, if he click on it, then we will send the user to the profile page, and instead of the user own data, here will be that Gia Peterson full name, username, bio, follower, all these stuffs, and this button will be changed to follow, or if the user is not already following, then it will be like following. Hope you understand and get the idea. So first of all, let's do work on our this button. Okay, so come here to the profile fragment, and first of all, I mean, one thing which we need to do is to get this reference, I mean this ID, okay, which we are sharing by using the shared references. Okay, this thing. So here on our profile fragment, here we can just quickly say that is val pref equals to context dot get share preferences prefs comma context dot mode private. If the preference is not null, not equals to null, then we can get the string, I mean from our activity, and we can store it inside here in this fragment. Sorry, from the, I mean from the user adapter, where when a user click on it, okay, because we are using the shared references. Okay, so when a user click here on any item view, then we are going to get that ID on which the user click, and we have to receive it here. So we can do it by, we can say this dot, and we need to create a variable here. So we can say let init for, let's give it the same name as profile ID, and as you know that it must be of type string. Let's also initialize quickly a Firebase user that we will also need now. We can give it a name as Firebase user, and it be of type Firebase user. So anyways, now here we can say this dot profile ID equals to reference dot get. Now here we need to pass the same thing which is on our user adapter, I mean the thing which we are passing from here, which is this one, profile ID. Pass that here, comma, none. Now once we get this, the next thing which we need to do is to differentiate between the online, I mean the user own ID, and the item ID, that is when a user come here from this search box. Okay, that is the edit profile button and the follow button, or follow unfollow button, that kind of button. Okay, hope you understand. You will also understand it more clearly when we will run the app at the end. So anyways, after this we can do that thing. Okay, we can say if, and we are going to compare the online user, I mean the Firebase current user, you can say, with this profile ID. If both are equals, it means that this is the user own profile page, and if both are not equals, then it means that the user is coming from the search page where he click on someone else's profile. So first of all, here we can first get the Firebase user. Firebase user equals to Firebase auth dot get instance dot get current user, and it must not be null, so put these two exclamation marks. Okay, so here now we can compare it. We can say if the profile ID is become equals to the Firebase user, sorry, Firebase user dot uid, I mean you have to get the ID of that user. So if the profile ID is equals to the Firebase user.uid, it means that this is the user on profile, so there is no need to change the button text or here we can, we have to display the button like this. Okay, edit profile. So for this the ID is, let's just go to the text, click here and the ID, copy this ID, come back to the profile fragment, and here we can save view dot paste that ID, okay, that button ID dot set on click, sorry, dot text. We have to change the text of this button equals to edit profile, otherwise, which means let's add a proper statement for it, else if. Now here we have to display the follow or already following text on this edit profile button. So for that we will be needing, we have to check it and verify it using the Firebase real-time database. So let's just create a method by the name check follow and following. Let's use the proper names. Okay, so this is the method. Let's create it, create function, remove this comment, and this is our function. So now here we can do that thing. So now we have to verify it using our follow node, where basically we have all the follower list and the following list. Okay, so yeah, we can say, well, follow reference equals to, let's just copy paste from the user adapter class where we already created these references. Okay, here we have this check follow following status. Okay, copy this reference from here, well, following reference, this follow and following. Okay, make sure that it is this one. Just copy it, come back here, paste it here. So now here we can say if following reference, sorry, let's just copy paste this. If this is okay, we forgot to close the brace. Okay, and that is basically this brace, because we just copy pasted and we forget to close this angle, this curly brace. So now we can say, I'm really sorry for this. Okay, make sure to take care of these things. If follow reference not equals to null, then we can say following reference dot, we are now going to retrieve it. Okay, so object colon value event listener, put two curly braces, and let's move to next line. Now two methods we basically write here inside the value event listener. The first one is on data change, make sure to remove the comment, and the second one is on cancelled, remove the comment from it. So now inside our on data change, we can say if data snapshot dot exist, which is basically this object. Okay, po dot exist, and we are searching for that specific user basically. So here we can say dot child profile ID. So if this exists, it basically means that we are currently following the person. Okay, so let's just copy paste this thing from here quickly, which is this one, copy it, paste it here, and change this to following. Make sure to add here this for the safe call or check, else it will be follow. Copy it, paste it here, and change it to follow. Also make sure to add a safe call here. You can also check it from here. Okay, replace with safe call. But anyways, just remove this and let's do it manually here. Okay, so the error is removed now. So this is the whole thing which we do about the this button edit profile. Okay, so yeah, now the next thing comes is to get the total number of followers and the following list, I mean to display it here. Okay, this is just for the button. If you want, you can, I mean, give proper name to this method, that is check follow and following button status, so that, I mean, you can remember it even if you open the code after 1 year. Okay, so it is up to you. Okay, make sure to change the name here also. So we call this method here. Okay, now let's just create quickly a method where we can get, I mean, retrieve the total number of followers and the followings. So yeah, let's just quickly edit. Okay, first let me check. We have some error here. Okay, by mistake I just add an extra space here. Sorry, it is the app package name. So anyways, let's just add, I mean, quickly add create a method here quickly. Private fun get. First let's retrieve the followers. Okay, so private fun get followers. We need the same reference, which is, this is for following. Let's just copy paste it first and make sure to change this following to followers. I mean the same reference at the time when we were storing it on our user adapter in, I mean, in the database. Okay, follow followers. So make sure to use the same spellings. So let's also change this name to followers reference. Once again, I forgot to add this curly brace for closing this thing. Let me just remove it quickly. This is our followers. Then we have this curly brace. We have added it already. Okay, so here we can say followers reference dot add value event listener object value event listener. Make sure to put two curly braces. The first method is the on data on cancel, second one is on cancel, and first one is on data change. So make sure to add these two methods quickly, remove these comments. And now here inside our on data change, we can say if data snapshot, if this one, basically by using this object name, if po dot exist. So we are going to get the total number of child, I mean the total number of child count basically. That is, let's say now here are only one child. Okay, if there are, let's say, 5. Okay, so it means that this user has 5 followers. Now in this case, this user has only one follower, and which is this person. Okay, whose ID, unique ID is IQ, this one. So I hope you get the idea. It is so simple. So we can say view, we have to display it. So by using view we can say dot, let first check the ID of it for the followers, and it is total followers. Copy it, paste it here, dot text, and this exclamation question mark here. And now here we need to, sorry, we need to set the text. I mean, first we have to get the total number of child. So we can, by using this object, we can say po dot get. By the way, in Kotlin it is children count. Okay, while in Java it is get children count, and it basically get the total number of child in long data type. So here you can see it display an error. If you click here, here is this red bull, click here, add to string call. Okay, so dot string, by adding this dot to string, it will convert this to string, and now it will display it on our this total follower text view. One thing which we need to do is instead of it, let's just copy paste this quickly. This for the followers, and now let's do it for the copy, and let's paste it here and change the name of it to get followings. And now we have to change it to get followings. Make sure that it is the same spellings which we are using here, okay, or it is following, okay, sorry. So make sure, which you can also verify from the database, okay, followers and following. Not here, it is, we do not add s, I mean it must match to your database childs or nodes. So follow, following, and the same thing will be apply, I mean apply here, but we have to change this text view. Now we have to display it in our following, this one, and the id for this is total following. Okay, that is now in this case, let's say for this user, if this user is online, then he has 2 person in his following list, okay, 1 2. So yeah, I mean now, and also this person has no followers, I mean no one is following him, he is following these 2 person. So the next thing is these two things, we have to call this methods here first. So let's just call it, above this return we have to call our get followers and then get followings. Now the next thing which is left is to display the full name, bio and username. So let's just do it. For that we can also create a separate function, separate method, I mean fun, let's give it name as user info. Now we need to create a reference to our user node, okay, users reference equals to Firebase database dot get instance dot get reference dot child will be our users node dot child profile id, I mean this specific person. We can say user ref dot add value event listener new value event, sorry, not this, it is object colon value event listener for 2 curly braces here. Then we have on data change, remove the comment. Then we have on cancel method, remove the comment. Inside the on data change, first of all we can check the context. If the context is not equals to null, I mean, so here if you want to do something, I mean if the context is null, we have to return, okay, we are not going to allow the user, so return. And otherwise we have to check if the po dot exists, which means if this user id exists, I mean if this user is present in the real-time database, if this user data exists, then we have to retrieve it and display it. So first of all we can say well user equals to data snapshot, which means this object, sorry, in Java it is, I mean the default name for this one is data snapshot, so that's why I just every time say this get value user, which is our model class, and by the way it must be angular braces. Then we can say user class Java. First we have to retrieve and display the picture. As you know, till now we have not allowed user to update the picture, but we can write the code for it, okay. And we have to add add a null check, add a null check and the safe call, so which means that if it exists only retrieve it, otherwise ignore it. So you can say user, also we have to check if user is not null dot get image, dot placeholder or dot dribble dot profile dot into view dot, and we have the ID for it, which is pro image profile fragment. Make sure to confirm it first. Okay, here you can see it, pro image profile frag. After this we have to display the retrieve and display the username. So we can say question mark dot, the ID for it is profile fragment username dot text user dot get username. Let's just copy paste it quickly. Then we have the full name profile fragment, and it is get full name. Then we have bio profile frag get bio. So everything is okay, and now let's just call this method here, user info. Now let's just run the app to see if it is working fine or not. And also let me check any specific user ID so that we can count the total number of which user has both things. Let's just log in using this user who's johnson@gmail.com. So the app is running now. Okay, and let me just log out first from here. Let's just log in using Johnson. Then password. We are logged in. Let's go to the profile. So if we go to the profile, it is not it is retrieving the following, but the full name and these stuffs is not displaying here. Why? And here we need to check our core, what we forgot. Okay, first of all, the first mistake is here. The profile ID is equals to this, and the second one is basically if this is not equals to the Firebase user.uid. So this is the mistake here. So the second mistake is basically my mistake. We forgot to do some changes here, and that is when we say get followings. We are going to check for the profile ID, that is the item on which a user clicked. So remove this first. Make sure to remove this, okay, and then this thing. So yeah, and then we need to check, that is Firebase database get instance reference dot child follow dot child profile ID. And the next thing is our followers. Okay, make sure to remove this, also this curly brace, and here we need to change this to profile ID, because this profile ID is the ID that which is basically the item view, and that item view reference, it basically means the ID on which an online user will click. So you will send online user to that user profile page, even if he click on his own profile, uh, that is, let's say from the search box. Okay, if he search his own name and his own ID appear, and if he click on it, then that profile ID will contain the online current user ID. It will be equals to that. So here we need to check, write the dot child profile ID. Also let me check the user info users. Here we have profile ID. Now this is okay. Let us just comment out this code for now, but later if we need it, then we will use it. So here, so yeah, I mean that is okay. Now the app will work fine. One thing which we need to add is that is whenever the user, I mean minimize the app, at that case we have to assign the user own ID. So here at the end, let us just quickly say on stop, not start, on stop, and on pause. I mean we have to, by using the share preferences, we have to save the, or you can say share the user own ID. Okay, on stop, on pause for the profile page. If the user come to the profile page, then we have on destroy. Now come here to the user adapter, and here when we say on our user adapter we have this code. And by the way, one thing which I noticed is instead of this get UID, you can also write UID, okay, instead of this. So anyways, this was not the case. I mean our goal is just to copy it, come back to the profile fragment, and just paste that here. Okay, and here the context is this one, question mark, and we have to get the, and I'm talking about this UID, which is the Kotlin. Specifically using the Kotlin language we write this. Okay, get UID is the old one, which is which also, I mean, you can use here in Kotlin, but that was specifically for Java. So anyways, here we are going to use the Firebase user.uid, and the same we will do. Let's just copy paste this down below. Okay, now we are ready to test the application finally, but where is this problem? Okay, also we need to add this safe null call here. Then the next one is here. So make sure to do this. Even if you just click mouse here, okay, here is this red line, it will also give you this suggestion. I mean from the suggestion you can see it's around with null check. Instead of it, let's do it manually like this. Okay, here you can see it. Now we are ready finally to test our application to see how it works. So as you remembered, I already told you I am now logged in by this account, which is Johnson Wright. Okay, and the ID is IQ. So IQ currently now have only two, in his following list he has two users. Here you can see Johnson Wright. This is the status which is retrieved here. You can check it here. Okay, and this is the username Johnson 3. Now here you can see edit profile, and this person is only following 2%. Okay, I mean in his following list there are only 2%, which I already show you guys. And also let's go to the search and see this feature also which you implemented. So I search for this user, let's click on it, and here you can see it following. Okay, and the name of this person is Eamon Johnson, which means that this user who is online user, which is Johnson Wright is following Eamon Johnson. Okay, here you can see it. And since you know that we have not worked on the on click feature for the following and follow button, okay, in this case, so yeah, I mean in the next tutorial we will be working on it. But before going, I'm going to unfollow this Eamon Johnson from here. Okay, so here you can see it is now follow, and here you can see it. Now I'm going to click on it again, and here you can see the follower list is now empty. So yeah, I mean that is really incredible. It is working fine. Now in the next video tutorial, what we will be doing is to also, I mean, allow the user to follow and unfollow a user by going to the profile page of that user on which a online user will basically click. Okay, hope you are understanding everything. So yeah, that's it for this video, and in the next tutorial we will be working on it.